Let's talk to Pastor Mark Burns, who is President Trump's spiritual advisor, who's also the founder of the Now television network. Pastor Burns, thank you very much for joining us on LBC. It seems to me that the events of yesterday have led to, well, a kind of powder keg situation developing in the United States. People who were great fans of Charlie Kirk obviously feel absolutely distraught at his assassination. But there seem to be plenty of people on the other side of the political fence who maybe understandably aren't mourning him, but are saying some pretty direct things on social media which are designed to wind people up. What's your reaction?
Well, first of all, my heart goes out to the wife and 3 children of Charlie Kirk. Those babies would now grow up without a father. And the wife would now not have a husband. And what a devastating day for all of the world, because Charlie was such a giant. Whether you agreed with him, whether you disagreed with him, he was a force to be reckoned with. And the hand of God, the favor of God was upon his life at such a young age, having built Turning Point and become the premier voice for the young conservative movement of America. Having said that, it's very disturbing to me to see those who disagree with Charlie, and I, who actually communicated with Charlie the night before. So this hits very, very close to me, very, very close to me. Charlie has invited me many times to speak at Turning Point USA, and I been one of those voices to champion the very same things he believed in. But there's some things we didn't agree with. Again, Ukraine was one of them. I think he was against Ukraine. I am for supporting the innocent, free people of Ukraine. And yet it breaks my heart to see some of the evil comments that people are making. No one, regardless if you agree with them or disagree with them, should be assassinated. To my understanding, one of his children was present. And now his death has been echoed throughout the whole entire world. Unfortunately for the left, all they've done is waking up a sleeping giant, monster conservative movement. And we want peace, stability. My prayer is that cooler heads will prevail. It is not beyond imagination to believe that we in America can have another civil war that can break out, because ideologies are so different. Charlie did say some things that was challenging to others, things about Dr. King and others, and he said some things about race. Matter of fact, that's what my conversation was about when he was tweeting about the white women that was being killed, the Ukrainian young lady, or the white woman that was massacred recently in America. And so to use those terms, white women, for me, that was more divisive.
And how did he react to that?
Well, I mean, he understood what I was saying. I mean, again, I've helped Charlie, and I've been a small voice in different situations regarding race. But he received it. He understood my point of view. He's a true man of God. He really did love Jesus. But I also believe that some of those type of language were dog whistles to supposedly real white supremacists. I don't believe Charlie was one of those people, but I believe that it could have been easily misconstrued as a dog whistle to those white supremacists who believe black people or people of color should be looked at even more differently under the law, because these white women are being killed. And no, an evil man, whether he's black or white, he deserves to go to prison for the rest of his life, or the death penalty. But this Ukrainian woman, her life ended. She came to America for peace. Vladimir Putin, who needs to come to the table, well, at the verge of World War III, President Zelensky gave me the Order of Merit Medal in Sofia Square. So I'm very involved in this process. But that Ukrainian woman, not this white woman, the Ukrainian woman was killed, and we all should speak against
Can
that.
I just return to something that you said about a minute ago, because I was just about to read a text out to you that I've had on my screen here from Mark, who says civil war is imminent in the US, and then you yourself said that you felt that was a possible danger. Now, A few years ago, I don't think anybody would have thought that. And then January the 6th happened. I mean, that's kind of where a lot of this started, I think, in any case. How close do you think America is to some sort of civil war now?
Well, I don't think that we are at the place to where we're ready to start taking up arms. I don't believe that. I can't speak for everybody, but of course, we're here in South Carolina. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's a sentiment, but I do believe that temperatures are starting to rise up. The genesis of war, civil war, I believe, is in the mix. And those conversations are being held in certain communities. And of course, I'm dispelling that notion because obviously that would be devastating for the world, not just the innocent people that would be in the crossfires. But I don't think that we're actually ready to take up arms. I'm not saying that. The country is not in chaos under President Trump, not at all. The President Trump is really making our nation stronger, and he is going against the grain in order to do it. He said he was going to do it, and he's doing it, and it makes some people uncomfortable. But the president is playing a long-term game. But for those changes that he's making, they're more difficult, than some want to stomach. And so that gives the appearance that we're about to actually pick up and head arms. No, but ideologies, the Democrats are far left and some of the right are far right. And I believe that there's more of us who are in the middle that believe in conservative values of our nation that has made our country great, while at the same time knowing that we should have a government that's designed to help the poor and help the less.
Just finally, you said a moment ago that you would talk to Charlie Kirk about some of the things he was saying that maybe he could have worded them differently. Do you have those same conversations with Donald Trump? I mean, you're his spiritual advisor, but there must be some of the things that Donald Trump says sometimes where you literally have your head in your hands thinking, oh, my God, you could have said that a little bit differently, Mr. President.
Well, absolutely. One story briefly, we were on the plane flying from one event to another, and the president looked at me and he said, we're heading to an event that's specifically for African Americans. And he said, what do you think about this? He says, I want to tell the community, the African American community that's there. He said, I'm going to say, what the hell you got to lose? The Democrats have done you wrong. You voted for over 50 years. They've done nothing for you. So I want to say to them, what the hell you got to lose? I said, no, Mr. President, I wouldn't say the word hell. Let's take the crush word out and just say, what do you have to lose? He said, okay, all right. Well, we get to the event, we get off the plane, he gets on stage, and the first thing he says is, what the hell you got to lose? I said, oh, Lord,
well,
no, Mr. President.
We have a phrase in this country, advisors advise, ministers decide, or presidents decide. And I think he lived up to that one there. Pastor Mark Burns, thank you very much for joining us on LBC.